All right, we are looking at lesson 1.2 today, adding integers with different signs. Our objective is that I can add integers with different signs. And by different signs, we mean positive and negative integers. Apologies for the background noise with the construction. All right, so when we've got different signs, we want to subtract. And take the bigger sign. Here's what that looks like. When we want to subtract, we want to do, we want to take the absolute value and do the bigger number minus the smaller number. So let's look here. At our first example, we have positive 4 plus negative 8. If we take the absolute value, that means we're just looking at 4 and 8. Our steps tell us to subtract. We're going to do our big number minus our small number. 8 is bigger than 4, so I'm going to rewrite it as 8 minus 4, which gives me 4. Our second step is to take the bigger sign. 8 is bigger when we take the absolute value, and 8 is negative, which means our answer is going to be negative 4. Let's look at the next one. We have negative 4 plus positive 8. Let's look at the absolute value, the positive version. We have 4 and 8. 8 is bigger than 4, so we're going to do 8 minus 4, because we do our big minus our small. 8 minus 4 is 4. And then we take the bigger sign. 8, the absolute value for 8 is bigger. 8 is positive, which means our answer is just positive 4. Notice I didn't put a plus sign in front of it. When it is a positive, we don't need the plus sign. We'd automatically assume that all positive numbers, or all numbers without a minus sign, are positive. Our last example, we have negative 3 plus positive 5. We look at our absolute value, we have 3 and we have 5. Big minus small, 5 is bigger than 3, so we're going to do 5 minus 3, which gives us 2, and then we take the bigger sign. 5 is bigger than 3 and 5 is positive, which means our answer is positive 2. Now, why is that the case? Normally, when we add and subtract, when we add, we move to the right. When we subtract, we move to the left. Adding negatives changes it a little bit on a number line. So let's look at negative 3 plus positive 4. Remember, we always start at 0 and we go to our first number, which is negative 3. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3. So there's our negative 3. And I'm going to add 4. So we're going to start at negative 3, and we add to the right. So we're going to go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4. And we end right here at positive 1. If we want to do it the way we did earlier with the steps, we have 3 and 4. 4 is bigger, so we would do 4 minus 3, which is 1. 4 is bigger. 4 is positive. Our answer is positive 1. Let's look at one more example on the number line. We have positive 5 plus negative 4. I'll do that one on the bottom here. So we always start at 0. I'm going to go over to positive 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we end up here at positive 5. Now normally when we add, I would go to the right, but this minus sign tells us, this negative symbol tells us to turn around and go the other way. So whenever you see a minus or a negative, it means to flip around. So I'm going to go to the left 4 instead of to the right. So I'm going to start at 5 because that's where we left off, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And once again, we end up at positive 1. If we follow our steps, we have the absolute value of 5, the absolute value of 4. 5 is bigger, we would do 5 minus 4, and we get 1. 5 is bigger, 5 is positive in the original problem, which means 1 is also positive. All right, lastly, we're going to look at how to do this with counters. And I've got the physical counters this time. So if we have negative 3, so here's my negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm adding positive 4 to that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when we have counters, we have to remember our opposites. For every positive 1 and negative 1 pair I have, that makes 0. Remember, 1 plus negative 1 makes 0, because when you add opposites, you end up with 0. So whenever I have a 0, I can just take those away. So these two, these make a 0 pair. 1 negative, 1 positive. 0. Here's another 0 pair. Take those away. Here's another 0 pair. I can take those away. And I am left with positive 1. We could look at this as a drawing as well. If we have 3 negatives, and I can just put little negative symbols in there, and then we have 4 positives. I can cross off 0 pairs. Here's a 0 pair, a negative and a positive, negative and a positive, negative and a positive, and we are left with 1 positive. All right, last but not least, we have positive 5, so I'm going to start off with 5 yellow to represent our positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to add for red, or negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, we're going to make 0 pairs. So here's a 0 pair. Take it away. Here's another 0 pair. We could take it away. Another one, and another one. Until we are left with just 1 counter, and it is yellow, which means it is a positive 1. And if you wanted to draw it out, if you don't want to have to physically get counters, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are all pluses because we have positive 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives. Cross off our 0 pairs. 0, 0, 0, and 0. We end up with positive 1. All right, go ahead and start your practice, your learn and do, and let us know if you have any questions.